Most people spend their entire lives somewhere they're not. Their bodies are in one place, but their minds are trapped in yesterday's mistakes or racing toward tomorrow's worries. They replay conversations that are already over. They stress about outcomes that haven't happened yet. And without realizing it, they give away the only moment where real power exists. Right now, the present moment is not just a slice of time. It's the only place where change is possible. You cannot rewrite the past and you cannot control the future, but you can decide who you are being in this exact second. And that decision, repeated daily, is what separates an average life from a great one. Being present doesn't mean life suddenly becomes easy. It means you stop living on autopilot. You stop reacting blindly and start responding with intention. When you are present, you hear more clearly, you see opportunities you used to miss, and you feel a deeper connection to what you're doing. Your work improves because your attention is no longer scattered. Your relationships improve because people can feel when you're truly with them. Your confidence grows because you're no longer split between fear and regret. Presence brings clarity, and clarity brings power. Think about how many times your mind pulls you away from the task in front of you. You sit down to work, but your phone steals your focus. You start a workout, but your thoughts wander. You plan to improve your life, but your mind drags you back to excuses. The truth is, distraction is the enemy of greatness. Every moment you're not fully present, you're giving away a piece of your potential. Discipline begins with attention. Before you can discipline your habits, your body, or your goals, you must discipline where your mind goes. When you commit to being present, even simple actions become meaningful. One focused hour of work is more powerful than an entire day of half effort. One fully committed workout can do more for your body than weeks of distracted movement. One honest, present conversation can heal what years of avoidance could not. Presence multiplies effort. It turns small actions into powerful steps forward. Most people think greatness comes from massive changes, but it doesn't. It comes from mastering the moment you're already in. When you wake up, be present with your morning routine. When you work, work fully. When you rest, rest without guilt. Stop rushing through life like it's something to escape. Life is not happening later. It's happening now. And the quality of your attention determines the quality of your results. Being present also means facing discomfort instead of running from it. When things get hard, the mind wants to escape, scroll, sleep, quit, or delay. But growth lives inside discomfort. When you stay present during the hard moments, you build resilience. You train yourself to remain calm under pressure. You learn that discomfort is temporary, but the strength you gain from facing it stays with you. This is where discipline quietly begins, choosing to stay instead of escape. You don't need more time. You need more awareness. Everyone has the same 24 hours, but not everyone uses them consciously. The present moment is where discipline is practiced and greatness is built. Every time you choose focus over distraction, intention over impulse, and effort over excuse, you are shaping your future self. Not tomorrow, not next year, right now. Imagine if you approach each day with this mindset: whatever I'm doing, I will do it fully. No rushing, no half-hearted effort, no mental wandering, just presence. That mindset alone would transform your work ethic, your self-respect, and your results. You wouldn't need constant motivation because presence creates momentum, and momentum creates confidence. The future you want is not created by worrying about it. It is created by how you show up in the present moment. Greatness is built one focused decision at a time. Be here, be aware, be intentional. Because the moment you fully claim now is the moment you begin to become great. Everyone wants the results. Everyone talks about the dream, the vision, the future they're chasing. But very few people are willing to commit to the daily actions that make that future real. That's where discipline steps in. Discipline is not about punishment or restriction. It's about alignment. It's the bridge between who you are right now and who you say you want to become. Without discipline, intention stays a wish. With discipline, intention turns into action, and action turns into results. Motivation feels good, but it's unreliable. Some days you wake up fired up, ready to conquer everything. Other days you don't feel like doing anything at all. If your progress depends on how you feel, your progress will always be inconsistent. Discipline is what carries you on the days motivation disappears. It's the quiet decision to show up anyway. It's choosing to do what needs to be done, especially when no one is watching and no one is cheering. Discipline begins with small choices. Waking up when the alarm rings instead of hitting snooze. Starting the work you've been avoiding instead of waiting for the right mood. Finishing what you start, even when it gets uncomfortable. These moments seem small, but they shape your identity. Every disciplined action is a vote for the person you want to become. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your self-respect grows stronger. A disciplined life doesn't mean a joyless life. In fact, it's the opposite. Discipline creates freedom. When you control your habits don't control you. When you manage your time with discipline, stress decreases. When you train your body with discipline, energy increases. When you discipline your mind, clarity replaces chaos. The structure discipline provides gives you space to breathe, think, and grow. Most people avoid discipline because they associate it with sacrifice. And yes, discipline requires sacrifice, but not of happiness. It requires sacrificing comfort, excuses, and instant gratification. It asks you to give up what feels good now for what will feel great later. And that trade is always worth it. Temporary discomfort is a small price to pay for long-term confidence and strength. Discipline also builds trust with yourself. Think about how powerful it is to know that when you say you'll do something, you actually follow through. That trust becomes unshakable confidence. You stop doubting yourself. You stop overthinking. You move with certainty because you know you can rely on yourself. That is a rare kind of strength, and it's built one disciplined decision at a time. There will be days when discipline feels heavy, days when quitting feels easier, days when no one would blame you for slowing down or giving up. But those are the moments that matter most. That's when discipline separates those who talk about greatness from those who live it. Discipline isn't loud. It doesn't announce itself. It quietly shows up again and again, shaping a life that others only admire from a distance. You don't need to be extreme. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. Discipline isn't about doing everything at once. It's about doing the right things repeatedly. Progress compounds. Small disciplined actions done daily build momentum. And momentum, once created, becomes hard to stop. Every great outcome you admire in others, strength, success, confidence, peace, has discipline behind it. You may not see the early mornings, the lonely work, or the repeated failures, but they're always there. Discipline is the unseen force that makes greatness visible. So when you feel stuck, don't wait for motivation. Create discipline. Decide in advance who you are and how you will act. Let discipline guide your choices when emotions try to pull you off course. Because when intention is backed by discipline, there is no limit to what you can build. If there's one battle that quietly decides the direction of your life, it's the battle inside your own mind. Long before results show up on the outside, the mind has already made a decision. Most people don't fail because they lack talent or opportunity. They fail because their thoughts run wild, unmanaged, and undisciplined. The mind becomes a place of fear, doubt, distraction, and excuses. And if you don't learn to control your mind, it will control you. Your mind is powerful, but it is not always truthful. It exaggerates problems, replays past mistakes, and creates future fears that may never happen. It tells you you're not ready, not good enough, not capable yet. If you listen to every thought that passes through your head, you'll talk yourself out of your own potential. Mental discipline is the ability to observe those thoughts without obeying them. Just because a thought appears doesn't mean it deserves your attention or your belief. Controlling your mind doesn't mean silencing it completely. It means directing it. It means choosing focus over distraction and purpose over impulse. Every day your attention is pulled in 100 directions: notifications, opinions, comparisons, and noise. If you allow your mind to chase everything, it will master nothing. Greatness requires the ability to concentrate on what matters and ignore what doesn't. The way you speak to yourself matters more than most people realize. Your inner dialogue becomes your reality. If your mind is constantly critical, you move with hesitation. If it's constantly fearful, you play small. But when you discipline your thoughts, you change your behavior. You start replacing "I can't" with "I'll figure it out." You replace "what if I fail" with what if I grow? This shift doesn't happen overnight, but it happens with practice and awareness. Mental discipline is especially tested when things get hard. When progress is slow, when effort doesn't immediately pay off, that's when the mind looks for an exit. It offers excuses that sound reasonable. It reminds you of comfort. It whispers that quitting is safer. But growth never comes from comfort. When you stay present and disciplined in those moments, you build mental toughness. You prove to yourself that discomfort doesn't control you. Your focus shapes your emotions. What you dwell on grows. If you constantly focus on problems, stress increases. If you focus on progress, even small progress, confidence builds. A disciplined mind knows how to redirect attention. It doesn't deny reality, but it chooses where to place its energy. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can control how you interpret and respond to it. Comparison is one of the fastest ways to lose mental control. Looking at someone else's success without seeing their struggle creates self-doubt. It makes you feel behind, even when you're moving forward. A disciplined mind stays in its own lane. It measures progress against yesterday, not against someone else's highlight reel. Greatness is personal. Your journey doesn't need to look like anyone else's. Mental discipline also means setting boundaries, especially with your time and environment. What you consume affects how you think. Constant negativity, meaningless content, and endless scrolling weaken focus and increase anxiety. Protecting your mind is an act of self-respect. When you chose what you allow into your mental space, you regain control over your direction. There will be moments when your mind feels heavy, when doubt feels louder than belief, when fear feels more real than possibility. In those moments, discipline is not about feeling strong. It's about acting despite the noise. Action has a way of quieting the mind. When you move forward, even in small ways, confidence follows. A disciplined mind doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It creates momentum in imperfect ones. It understands that clarity comes from action, not endless thinking. Overthinking keeps you stuck. Focused effort moves you forward. The moment you stop letting your thoughts decide your limits is the moment your life begins to expand. Control your mind and you take control of your future. Most people want to be seen. They want recognition, applause, validation. They want the results to arrive quickly and publicly. But the truth about greatness is this: it's built when no one is watching. The most important work you will ever do happens in quiet moments, far away from attention and approval. Showing up consistently, even in silence, is what separates those who talk about success from those who live it. There will be long stretches in your life where effort goes unnoticed. You'll wake up early, put in the work, stay disciplined, and still feel invisible. No likes, no praise, no immediate reward. This is where most people quit. Not because the work isn't working, but because the ego wants proof. Consistency requires patience. It requires faith in the process when the outcome isn't visible yet. Showing up consistently means honoring your commitment even when motivation fades. It means doing the work on the boring days, the slow days, and the days when nothing exciting happens. Greatness isn't built in moments of inspiration. It's built in moments of repetition. The ability to repeat the right actions day after day without external validation is a rare discipline. When no one is watching, your true character is revealed. That's when habits are formed. That's when standards are set. It's easy to perform when people are observing. It's harder to stay disciplined when there's no one to impress. But that's exactly why it matters. Consistency in private creates confidence in public. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. Every small action you take in silence compounds over time. One workout doesn't change your body. One focused work session doesn't change your career. One disciplined day doesn't change your life. But stack them together and something powerful happens. Momentum builds quietly. Strength grows invisibly. Skills sharpen without announcement. Then one day, people call it overnight success without realizing how many unseen mornings led there. Showing up when no one is watching also builds integrity. Integrity is doing what you said you would do, even when there are no consequences for not doing it. That kind of self-trust changes how you carry yourself. You walk differently. You think differently. You stop needing external approval because you know you're keeping your word to yourself. There will be times when you feel tired, discouraged, or uncertain. The mind will ask, does this even matter? That's when consistency becomes a choice, not a feeling. You don't show up because you're excited. You show up because that's who you decide to be. Identity drives behavior. When you see yourself as someone who shows up no matter what, quitting stops being an option. The quiet work is often the hardest work because it requires belief without evidence. You may not see progress for weeks or months, but progress is happening beneath the surface. Just like roots grow underground before a tree rises, your effort is building a foundation. Skip the foundation and anything you build will collapse. Showing up consistently doesn't mean pushing yourself to exhaustion. It means being reliable. It means doing what's necessary, not what's dramatic. You don't need extreme intensity every day. You need steady effort. Consistency beats intensity when intensity can't be maintained. When results finally arrive, they don't feel lucky, they feel earned. And more importantly, you're ready for them. The discipline you built in silence prepares you to handle success with humility and strength. So keep showing up, keep doing the work, even when it feels unseen, even when it feels slow, because the version of you that the world will one day admire is being built right now in the moments no one else sees. Comfort is seductive. It doesn't shout, it whispers. It tells you to wait a little longer, to take it easy, to choose what feels good right now. And most of the time, it sounds reasonable. But comfort has a cost. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you delay the life you say you want. Greatness demands a different choice. The willingness to be uncomfortable today so you can be stronger tomorrow. Discipline and comfort cannot lead at the same time. One always comes at the expense of the other. If you prioritize comfort, discipline weakens. If you choose discipline, comfort takes a back seat. This doesn't mean life becomes miserable. It means you stop letting temporary feelings decide permanent outcomes. The strongest people aren't the ones who avoid discomfort. They're the ones who've learned to move through it. Most growth feels uncomfortable in the beginning. Starting something new, pushing your limits, having difficult conversations, holding yourself to higher standards. It all feels awkward before it feels empowering. The body resists. The mind complains. And that's normal. Discomfort isn't a sign you're doing something wrong. It's often a sign you're doing something right. It means you're stretching beyond who you used to be. The problem is, we've been trained to escape discomfort. At the first sign of difficulty, we distract ourselves. We scroll, we procrastinate, we make excuses. We look for relief instead of progress. But relief is temporary. Progress lasts. Every time you sit with discomfort instead of running from it, you build resilience. You teach yourself that hard moments don't break you. They shape you. Sacrifice is not about giving up everything you enjoy. It's about choosing what matters most. It's about trading short-term pleasure for long-term purpose. Waking up early instead of sleeping in. Doing the work instead of watching someone else live their dream. Saying no to distractions so you can say yes to growth. These sacrifices may feel small, but over time, they compound into strength, confidence, and self-respect. There will be moments when comfort offers an easy way out, when quitting feels tempting, when settling feels safer than striving. In those moments, remember this: comfort never asks you who you could become. Discipline does. Discipline asks you to rise to your potential even when it's inconvenient. And every time you answer that call, you become a little stronger. Choosing discomfort today builds a kind of pride that comfort never can. It's the quiet pride of knowing you did what was hard instead of what was easy. That pride becomes fuel. It keeps you moving forward when motivation fades. It reminds you that you're capable of more than you once believed. The discomfort you avoid now doesn't disappear. It shows up later as regret, as frustration, as the feeling of knowing you could have done more. The discomfort you face now, on the other hand, turns into growth, into capability, into confidence. One leads to stagnation, the other leads to greatness. Strength is built through repetition. Each time you choose discipline over comfort, you train yourself to handle more. What once felt impossible becomes manageable. What once felt painful becomes familiar. This is how limits expand. Not all at once, but one uncomfortable decision at a time. You don't need to suffer unnecessarily. You just need to stop running from what challenges you. Comfort will always be available. Growth won't wait forever. The life you want is on the other side of the discomfort you keep avoiding. Step into it now, and your future self will thank you. Every decision you make is a message to your future self. Some decisions say, I cared enough to prepare you. Others say, I chose what was easy and left you to deal with the consequences. Whether you realize it or not, you are in a daily conversatio and with the person you are becoming. The question is simple, but powerful. Are you becoming someone your future self will thank, or someone they will have to recover from? Most people imagine their future self as a distant stranger. They think tomorrow will somehow take care of itself. But the future is built in ordinary moments, through choices that feel small right now. What you eat, how you spend your time, what you tolerate, what you avoid, and what you commit to. All it shapes the life you will eventually wake up to. Your future self is not created by big promises. They are created by daily behavior. Being disciplined is an act of respect towards your future self. It's saying, I won't leave you unprepared. When you choose to be present, to stay focused, to do the work when it's uncomfortable, you're investing in the person you're becoming. You may not feel the reward immediately, but it's being stored. Strength, clarity, confidence, and peace are all delayed returns on disciplined choices. Your future self is counting on you to make hard decisions today, to set boundaries, to say no when necessary, to stop repeating patterns that keep you stuck. Growth requires honesty. It requires you to admit when something isn't working and have the courage to change it. Every time you avoid that responsibility, you push the cost into the future. And the future always collects. It's easy to imagine a better version of yourself without becoming them. It's easy to dream without doing. But greatness is built when imagination meets action, when vision is supported by discipline, when intention is matched with consistency. Becoming the person you admire requires alignment between what you want and how you live. There will be moments when progress feels slow and the future feels far away. That's when most people give up. They forget that becoming someone strong takes time. But the future self you're building doesn't need perfection. They need persistence. They need you to keep showing up, even when the results aren't visible yet. Especially then. Think about the habits you're forming right now. Not the ones you plan to form later, the ones you're practicing today. Habits are powerful because they operate quietly. They shape your identity without asking for attention. If you don't choose your habits, they'll choose you. And the person you become will be the sum of what you repeated. Your future self doesn't need excuses. They don't need reasons why you couldn't do better. They need a foundation. They need skills, discipline, resilience, and self-belief. Those things are built through effort, not intention, through action, not words. Becoming great isn't about becoming someone else. It's about becoming who you're capable of being. Stripping away distraction, raising your standards, living with purpose instead of drifting. When you live this way, confidence grows naturally. Not because you're better than others, but because you're aligned with yourself. One day, the future will arrive whether you're ready or not. When it does, you'll either meet it prepared or unprepared, strong or struggling, focused or regretful. That outcome is being decided right now in the choices you make today. So act with the future in mind. Show up with intention. Stay disciplined when it's hard. Be present when it matters. Become the person your future self is counting on, starting now.